So what we have in front of us here are a myriad of different guns. Two of them are the same in regards to category, and two of them are also in the same category, but all of them are somewhat different guns.
Brought to you by Shooters Global. We created the advanced training system and next-gen shot timers to help you progress faster.
We're going to start off with these two over here. These two are designed specifically for competition. This one's designed in regards to weight and rules to meet the requirements to be able to compete in what's called the International Defense Pistol Association. Defensive Pistol Association is all about their concealed carry and tactics and order, and a totally different style than what my usual style is, which is IPSC or USPSA, the practical shooting side of it. This is designed for a different division. It is a production optic or carry optics in the USPSA. It's a little bit bigger, it's a little bit more weighted. This one is less weight, but both of them have advantages of an open magwell that allows for me, without the insertion and installing a magwell, it's already got a pre-built magwell in it that allows for easier reload. The trigger on both of these have very short reset as designed for performance. So when you reset it, it's a very short reset and it's a very crisp break. Everything in this particular gun is designed for us to have the ability to perform behind it. This one has a lot more weight, as you can see, compared to this one. That weight right there will allow for this gun to have less felt recoil, and it'll seem flatter in regards to recoil. With that said, the same exact thing with the trigger. It's a very short reset. It's a very light single action / double action gun. It also has these extended takedown levers where I can use as another leverage point to mitigate recoil muzzle rise. So those two guns are designed for competition. This is the reason why we don't carry this for everyday carry or for defensive, is because it is heavy. Though it is very uncomfortable, it's got all these sharp edges, right? Sharp edges that will make it uncomfortable for me to carry. And then the weight after several hours of the belt around your back, it's gonna start to feel real uncomfortable. These two guns are designed for that particular reason. Although they have cuts like similar cuts to this, like the baby cut, it is much smaller, and it is not, instead of it built in a steel frame, this is now built in around aluminum frame, and you can see the size is almost half the size. It's also much narrower. Now you can see the beveled magwell is no longer quite there, but it's still a little bit enough for us to do reloads, but it's not built for speed. It's meant for more concealability. And then now it's got different features like decocking, to put it in the safe manner. I could put it in safety if I want to. I could put it in single action, whatever it may be, right? So it's a totally different gun that's built around this for defensive. It is also very, very light and compact. This gun is a little bit slightly bigger. This gun's no longer a hammer-fired gun. Hammer-fired guns are what I'm showing you guys here with the hammer, external hammer. Now this has no hammer externally. This is built in completely. The ergonomics of this is building it so you can carry it. This got a plastic polymer frame grip, so it's meant to be lighter. You can see the ergonomics of this is meant to be more compact, more subdued, as opposed to this large overt controls. These have very minimal, everything streamlined, so I can grip tighter and I can hide it and conceal it better, right, when I'm carrying it in a position. You can also see the grip is much more narrow than compared to this grip. It's a lot wider in comparison. And you can see how the similarities between that grip and this grip is much more similar than in competition. This also doesn't have a magwell. As you can see, it's no longer beveled. So reloading this will be a little bit tougher than reloading these race guns. As you can see, the difference in hole in there. This has a bevel that allows for my magwell to just kind of fall in. This one I have to make sure I'm lined up before I can just throw the magazine inside. So with that said, amongst these four guns, all these guns will shoot well. It all depends on your skill set behind them. But the same shooter shooting all these guns will have slightly different performance and results from one gun to the next. And I'd like to find out, and this is what we're gonna use the SG timer, and today I'm gonna shoot a specific drill in iron sights. I'm gonna let go of the red dot for now since I all have iron sights. I'm gonna shoot drill iron sights, like the way we tested the iron sight versus optic. I'm going to shoot the same exact drills, and then I'm going to compare the results between one to the next, and you're going to see the difference. With the striker fire, the trigger is much longer. Even though it's got a pretty nice break, it's much heavier, and then you can see the reset is slightly longer than the reset that I had with this single action good competition gun. You can see when I let go, it's ready to go as well. So you're gonna have all those things that's gonna be different. You can see as well that iron sights are meant for defensive. It's bright white. It's really bright white, so I can see all three, and sometimes they're built with night sights where it lights up in the dark. The same thing as the defensive on the other gun as well. They're very similar in design. It is all about that. And then here's the thing. These are designed and put here so you can put a weapon mounted flashlight on there, where this one doesn't have that. And this one, although it has it, it's meant for more weight on the gun as opposed to putting a flashlight on there, although you still can as well. This one, the iron sights, look slightly different, where it takes the focus away from the rear sight and puts all the focus on the front sight, and all we have is a bright red light in the front, fiber optic sights, which is meant for competition so we can see faster. So with all these said difference, let's go shoot these guns and let's see the difference on the SG timer. We're gonna shoot one shot, not from the holsters, since I don't have holsters for those right now. I don't have to draw from concealment. We're gonna start from the low ready, present up, and fire one shot on steel. See how consistent I am on steel. Here we go. That's a .93. We're gonna do that again. Same thing, good hits on target. Let's do another one. Ready. .85, we'll do another one. That's another hit. And then the last one on this particular run, .79. I'm just getting faster and faster with this particular gun. All hits, no misses, so it's a pretty consistent run on that. So now let's switch up to the different gun. All right, so now we have the Beretta APX A1. It's gonna have a different feel on the trigger. I'm gonna do the same exact drill. I'm backed at 15 yards, shooting at that popper. Here we go. That was a 105 hit on target. 105, here we go. That was a .85. I got lucky with that one that I hit it. My sights wasn't quite on target yet. Here we go, I'm gonna do it again. That was a 104, that was more in line with my first try. So this particular gun, I was slightly slower from 0.8 to 0.7. I'm now up at 104 and 103. The second shot there was slightly faster. It went off a little sooner than I wanted to, but we counted it because it hit. So with that said, the other two were 104, 103 with this particular sight. And a lot of that is because of the trigger. The trigger's a little bit different. The sights isn't quite as intuitive. It's not a bright red dot. I now have to line up 3 white sight pictures. Now we're going with the baby cheetah. Let's go with this. You can see how much smaller this gun is and how my hand pretty much eats it up. The low profile sights really makes me want to, really forces me to get the gun up on target. I have it on, let's go with double action on this one, because just to keep it pure as the other test with the other one. And then I'll try single action first shots with this as well. Here we go. .122. .122. Oh. Yep, 122. Let's do it again. That was 1 second. Oh, let's try that. Let's try one more because that one was pretty fast. .94. Let's do one more, because I'm getting faster with this gun. It's a hammer fire, and I'm shooting a double action. I wonder why. I'm trying to figure it out. Ready? .90, yeah. So, all right, so that's a .90. Let's save that run. All right, so let's review, actually. Let's take this plate and let's review the shots and results here in a little bit. So we just finished doing our tests, and now I'm gonna review I'm gonna go right to activity. I have all the tests here. The race gun at double action was the fastest, easiest way for me to shoot it. I shot it at .93. I shot it at .93, a 5 with a hit, a .85, a .79. That was all double action shot. I should have shot it with single action as well, but I did the same test consistently. However, it was set up as a first shot type shot. The next gun, the polymer frame gun, this gun is a 105 first shot, a .85. That one was a quick shot that came out sooner than I expected it to, and I was surprised that it was a hit because my sights weren't quite on it. Then I redid it, and it was a 104, so very consistent with the way it would have. This would have been about 1 second as well. However, what surprised me the most was the last gun, this baby gun. And I believe a lot of it has to do with because the sights are so low towards the side, it makes it much easier to point at anything. So even at 15 yards, steel target. My first shot was 122. That was me getting to familiarize myself with the double action trigger. It was a hit. And then immediately, once I felt that, I had an idea of how to aim the sights and how to pull the trigger. Without trying, it was a 1 second run, and then I said, I want to try it again, a .94, and I gave it one more try, and it became a .90. So my trend was going faster and faster because this was a much easier gun to perform behind. And a lot of that really is kudos to the designers of this gun. This was their initial design built for performance. This is one of the first guns they built after this and integrated some of the technology with this gun into this gun, which allows for you to be able to still perform even though with the advantages of everyday carry, where it's small, compact, lightweight, and it's got a really good solid recoil impulse for a blowback gun. This gun right here hasn't had any kind of performance into it. It's just straight up durability, just a heavy duty gun, light enough, and ergonomics and all that stuff. Shot well, it felt great to shoot it. However, the trigger and the sights makes it a little bit harder to shoot because of the way it's currently designed. In the future, they'll probably make that better and try to enhance this particular gun with this. All right, so we're about 10 yards, 10 meters, and we have a really small tape on target, so our job is just to try to get as close to it as possible. So we're gonna use a timer to record 3 shots, and then so we can use a quick stage to see how many shots we hit or close to it as possible. So I'm gonna start with the left side. All right, that was 3 shots on there. And then I will check the hits on there. I forgot that this gun is zeroed a little bit higher. But then let's see, a little high, so I would consider that 3 Charlies. All right, the next one in the center is this with the center shot. So here we go. That's 376. Oh. That's also 3 Charlies. And then let's go with the last one. Oh no. Here we go. So let's see that. The results on those, I would say the first shot would be a delta. The next 2 shots would be maybe 2 deltas, 1 Charlie on that one. That's what we're gonna give that because of the way it works. So, walking up, these are the first three initial, so you can see there's a pattern. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This was the competition gun, and I know this, I should have been a little better. The way my gun is zeroed right now, if I aim here, I'll hit up here or right here. This time around I was aiming here and I hit up high, so that would be an easy adjustment. This gun I haven't really quite zeroed. That's a fixed sight, so I can't make that adjustment. This gun actually shot low consistently, so I have to smother the sights a little bit, and I would pick the sights up here. And then this gun is also shooting low, so I would have to actually aim slightly higher. So I'm gonna do these again, all three of them, and I'm gonna make a change. This one I'm gonna aim down here, and this one I'm gonna aim just above, and this one I'm gonna aim a little bit higher, and I'm gonna see the results here in a little bit. All right, so now I'm gonna fire 3 rounds again, but with this gun, I'm gonna aim a little lower, as what we just found out earlier. All right, that's the first 3 shots. And then for the middle one, I'm gonna aim again a little higher on this. That was one, let's go with 3 alphas on that one. That was pretty good. All right, and then now we're gonna go in the middle, aim a little bit higher with this particular gun, see if it's true. So with that gun, I would say there would be 1 alpha, 1 Charlie, 1 Delta. All right, and then the last gun, I have to aim high again on this one and see what happens. Yep, we're ready to go. All right, let's pick that bullet up. All right, so that one was maybe 1 alpha, 1 Charlie, maybe 2 Charlies. Let's go with 2 Charlies on that one. All right, so there it is. There are my results. So the adjustment we made, we were able to get closer to the black as I aimed lower. That was true. You can see I had 1 hit and 2 right next to each other. The original 3 and then the next 3 up here, I was able to move it up by aiming up here a little bit, and I was able to do that, but I didn't like my group. It's a little bit more sporadic. A lot of that's because of the trigger. This is my last 3 rounds here. The first one was low, so I aimed here, so I aimed a little bit higher in the next 2, and you can see I walked it up, and it's about a thumb-sized group. This has about a good group, this has a little bit wider group, and this has about the same smaller group as well. So this one I gave it as an alpha and 2 Charlies. This one I didn't like that Delta, Charlie, alpha, and then that's an alpha, and then 2 Charlies right next to each other. So you can see by just the trigger and all that stuff, one is easier to shoot than the other. The more rounds I'll fire, the tighter that group becomes. The sights I can adjust with my competition gun. I can adjust the sights right, left, or forward. The defensive guns, they're morely static sights that you can't adjust the sights. You just have to now adjust how it aims, at what distance, have understanding of what your hold is, unless you want to change your sights completely. By the way that comes and set up from factory, you'll have to understand where your hold is going to be in order for you to understand where to hit the target, especially if it becomes a small target. So basically, once I'm done shooting that, it recorded my time. It kind of recorded the hits. The time didn't matter as much. They varied a little bit from 3.7 to 3.3. One of them I had a 3.0, but the last 3 sets that I just did was 3.35, 3.18, and a 3.64. So all 3 guns were basically about the same thing. It just depended on when I decided to shoot the gun, how quickly I was able to return the target, and what I needed to in regards to adjust. So the time doesn't really necessarily matter, but the hit factor is where it mattered there, where the middle gun, the plastic gun, the polymer frame, the APX, had the lowest hit factor because it had the widest spread. The competition gun had the tightest spread, and then the other gun that was performance based had a wider, nothing hit on the alpha, but it had a really tight spread in regards to Charlie. So with all those 3 combined, The advantages of the competition being me, I can adjust the sights and make it zero to the way I shoot, as opposed to the defensive guns. They're not, you can't adjust the sights really. You can push it one way or the other, but the up and down, you're pretty much stuck with it. So you just gotta have to understand your hold, which is really important to go to the range and check your zero, because I don't want you to find out or question yourself whether you're gonna hit the target that you're aiming at. You should know before you even hopefully have to use it, whether you have to hold a little higher or hold a little lower because it hits high or low from that perspective. So, yep, go out there and check your zero before you even go out and shoot the gun or carry the gun. That would be my suggestion on this. On this particular instance, it was much easier for this particular drill, one shot on target. Fairly simple to just say that the competition gun wins. The smaller baby gun that's designed to be performance but miniaturized also did well. The least result that I liked was the defensive gun. So with that said, in your world, if you decide to buy a gun, pick a gun that you can kind of perform with, and either there's some sort of performance designed behind the gun. If you just buy a defensive gun, don't expect to do as well as you would if you get a good gun designed for performance. It's just not going to be able to keep up because of some of the features that they design and put into the gun. That's why some of these guns are a lot more expensive than other designed guns. Hope that helps.